Hi, Tina Peters here.
See, today they go after you if you're investigating that sort of thing.
Welcome back to The Truth Matters with Tina Peters. Once again, I'm not Tina. I'm Dr. Z sitting in for Tina as she is still in Larimer County Jail. Although we got lots of updates for you on that today. Lots happened over the weekend with Jared and Jake Lang going to the jail. We got a clip of that to play for you. We got a message through Jared this morning directly to me and all of you out there. We'll play that. We got a couple of other video clips. So again, it's always an honor to be here and sit in for Tina and be a voice for her. But she's out of anyone who could get her voice out while being incarcerated. Tina's doing a great job of that. So you're going to hear directly from her today. Again, you're going to hear from Jake Lang and some other people. So let's get right into it. Why don't we do it that way? Let's get right into it. I don't really have a ton on my mind and on my heart today to say. Again, we've got a lot of video clips for you, so I'm sure God will ask me to give some commentary once we play some of the clips. So let's start. Apollo, why don't we start with the clip, the audio message that Tina sent to me and all of us out there, all of you out there, I should say. And we'll hear directly from Tina since this is her show, and I'll zip it right off the top.
You know, I really appreciate so much the people that have been hosting the show. And Dr. Z, I still have my bobblehead. I wish I had it in here, my Trump bobblehead that he sent me. And, you know, Dr. Z, thank you so much for filling in. And, you know, God has sent such wonderful people to this fight, this righteous fight for our, you know, for our liberties, for transparency in government, and I just count you as one of them. And just tell everyone today, all the people listening, that I love them, and I hope to be able to. We want to have a big event so that everybody can come that wants to come, and have speakers and music, and just enjoy our freedom. So,
I love it.
Yeah. So when that happens, we'll make sure that we need to have something on the website where people can sign up and give their email address, so that they can sign up and get the latest news of where we're going to be and that sort of thing, what's going on.
Okay, I'll work with Mark Cook and get that put on there. I'll get an email form put on there, and we'll start building that list for you. That won't be a problem. I was talking to him over the last few days around that, so we'll get that sorted.
Yeah.
So everybody prepare for an email list. Hit Tina's website. We'll get a form there that you can put that in. That'll keep you up to date on the latest.
That'd be great.
We'll get all that
I want to
sorted.
be able to thank everybody and hug everybody and just everybody meet everybody, you know? We need to continue to build the army of patriots that support our president and the change that is being affected into our country to correct the years of the votes being stolen and to correct the years of the non-transparency. So it's happening, everyone. And so I love you guys. Have a great day.
We love you too, Tina. Thanks for that message. Very kind, and means a lot to hear Tina's voice during a time like this, right? When we're all trying to support her and get her out of there, to actually get to hear from her directly, to hear how she's feeling, what her thoughts are. You'll see I've now added the bobblehead back into the screen for Tina. She always loved that, which is why I sent her one through Jared over a year ago when I had her on my show, Patriots Behind the Mic. So really cool that she still remembers that and still thinks about that. Of course, she can't have her bobblehead while she's in jail. I suppose if one wanted, you could turn this thing into a weapon, although we all know Tina wouldn't do that. But, when you're in jail, oops, sorry about that. When you're in jail, nobody gets special privileges. So great to hear from her. You heard directly from Tina that they'll be putting a form on her website, tinapeters.us. That's where you can keep up with all of her stuff, tinapeters.us. And there's going to be a form to fill out to stay informed about information coming out about Tina. But also, we got some great breaking news today that there's a party being planned for all of us. I hope to meet many of you there. I certainly will plan on being there. Come hell or high water, I will make it there. I would love to hug Tina. I've actually never met her in person, and all of you who have supported her. And of course, the great team here at Untamed Nation, who's done such an amazing job of keeping everybody informed about Tina, keeping Tina's story at the top of everybody's mind. Joe Holtman is a warrior, as you guys know, and I love it when I go to X and I see one of his rants, especially if it's a rant about Tina. Nothing gets me fired up more. I feel like Joe is kind of like the unofficial coach of our movement. At least he is for me. Like when I need to be fired up and I need a nice pregame or halftime pep talk, and I listen to Joe and I see him on one of his shows or I hear his rants, I feel like I want to just go run through a wall, right? So thanks to Joe and everybody at Untamed for keeping that, keeping Tina in our hearts and mind and keeping us all informed. So again, make sure you get over to tinapeters.us, get your name on the list for the Tina Peters party, which is going to be one heck of a party once we get her out of there. And look, we'll know that I've talked about the last few weeks and guest hosting this show that it's a weird time because we're seeing lots of little wins and we're seeing things change and we're seeing the narrative change. I think it came out this week that the Democrat Party has a 29% favorability rating because they're liars and cheats and thieves. And quite frankly, that's probably a little bit high. Those numbers come from CNN and MSNBC. So it's probably much lower than that in reality. But we're seeing the narrative change and we're seeing that we're out there, we're winning and we're starting to feel good. But we know that we haven't won and we know that the war's not over, and we'll know that it's over when things happen like Tina is out of jail. Now, I'm not saying that's the thing that we can all put our feet up and that's over once Tina's free. Probably not the case, but we need some big wins and some big markers like that. Dan Bongino, for instance, becomes the deputy director of the FBI today as we're recording this, or this week. So that's a great thing. I've been very critical of Dan Bongino personally, and I would imagine other people and other hosts on Untamed have been as well. Well, he hasn't talked about Tina at all. There's a lot of things he hasn't talked about. Some people are very critical of him because he was involved in, he was on the Obama detail when they were doing the hot dog and pizza parties. And he's never said anything about that. Now, I'll give him a little bit of a pass on that because and again, who am I? This is just my opinion, right? Because there's NDAs that are signed when you're on Secret Service. You don't just get to talk publicly about the things that you saw. So most likely he can't talk about it on a radio show or a podcast like he had. However, now he's the deputy director of the FBI, so he can talk privately about the things that he saw and help put cases together about those things. And I hope that he's going to do that. Look, again, I'm someone who is very critical of Tucker Carlson while he was still on Fox. Like, Fox is the enemy. They committed treason against we the people, not against Trump, against we the people on November 3rd, 2020, when Bret Baier called Arizona for Trump way too early. For Biden. Not for Trump. Should have called it for Trump, but didn't. If they were on our side, they would have. Called it for Biden super early, 10 minutes after the polls closed or something like that. And I've never been a Fox fan. I don't think they're on our side. I still don't think they're on our side. That's why platforms like Untamed Nation are so important. I do believe that Bongino did some good work on his podcast and getting some information out there. But I also think that his podcast was a newer version of the same old Fox News and CNN and MSNBC. So I was never a fan of that. It was just like a new version of the same old crap. And it's always the finger pointing about those people over there are the problem. And where's the accountability and where are the answers? What are we going to do to fix it? And I don't believe that he really provided that on his show. But just like I was critical of Tucker while he was on Fox, once he left, I'm a huge fan. Again, I don't think the guy's perfect. I don't think any of us are. But he's been doing a great job getting a lot of truth bombs out there. And I applaud that. And I hope and pray that Bongino will do a similar thing. Again, not so much publicly, although there will be press conferences, and he's going to be great in front of the camera on FBI press conferences, so will Cash. But I hope that now he's got a chance to really be a part of fixing this stuff. All of the stuff you've been talking for years and years, those people, these are the problem. All right, well, go find the people that are the problem that you've been talking about and go prosecute them. So just a little minor rant there. I hope, again, I'm very hopeful, and I will be praying for Bongino, and I hope that he's going to do a great job, and I hope that he'll be aware of Tina's case. We are hearing that you're going to hear next from Jake Lang, who went to the Larimer County Jail yesterday and spoke to one of the deputies there that from directly inside the jail. And we heard from Tina in that message you heard. That wasn't the whole thing. There was another part where she says straight up, and she wanted this message to get out there too, that the deputies have been a lot nicer to her recently. Maybe it's because of this show, not specifically me or any of the other hosts, but that she still has a voice out there. And maybe a lot of those guys are conservative and they now know who she is and what she's been doing and why she's in there, and they feel a little bit differently about it. But either way, I do want to thank the deputies in Larimer County Jail on behalf of all of us for being nicer and kinder to her. Again, there are rules that need to be followed, and she needs to follow them, and they're not gonna give any special treatment to anybody, nor should they, because you never know. In those places, you let down your guard for a second, and bad things that can happen. So I just want to give a special shout out to the deputies in Larimer County Jail and thank them for taking care of her and softening up a bit on her in terms of not going further than they need to go with any other guest, let's call them, that's in Larimer County Jail. All right, so without further ado, then let's use this to transition. Apollo, if you could cue up the video of Jared and Jake Lang heading to the Larimer County Jail, and let's hear directly from them.
Hey, Corporal Connors.
Is it
Hey.
Mr. Lang?
Yes, Edward Lang. Yes,
sir.
yeah.
Thank you for waiting. Sorry,
Yeah.
it took so long.
God
to
bless
get
you
out
guys.
here.
We're live on my little news thing here. I'm actually a former January 6th political prisoner. Donald Trump just pardoned me. So this process,
Okay.
yeah, I did 4 years, and with that pretrial detention, they never even brought me to trial. So, I know what it's like, the whole system, waiting, patiently for you guys and stuff. So appreciate you guys. Tina has a interview tomorrow scheduled with Channel 9 News. I think it's in-person interview. Is that correct?
If it was, that would be set up through the facility
Okay.
director or the sheriff.
Okay, so
Yeah.
how do we go about doing that ourselves? Can we do that today? Can she come to see us today?
Definitely not today. So I actually wrote some information down for
Okay.
you. With special approval from the facility administrator, you can potentially get some access to that.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Is that who's the facility administrator?
Well, we have the sheriff or Captain Badberg, who's in charge of the.
Okay. And Captain Backberg will be available tomorrow if I come here, or
Well,
can I call him?
I don't have his schedule available with me.
so that's the number I just gave.
Somebody will get that message.
So this is Captain
So-
Badberg's.
No, so the main number is for the
Okay.
main facility. So you can call, leave a message, get your information to him. He can call you back if that's
Okay.
what needs to happen. Business hours.
Okay.
We'll call that one. That second one is for our PIO
Okay.
that handles a lot of our information in and out.
Okay. The PIO stands for
press information officer.
Okay.
Yeah, and you
Okay.
can call, you can leave a message again, give them your details, they can touch base with you,
Right.
and if we need to set something up, cool. The quickest way,
Okay.
I think, my understanding is what you were told to come here today.
Yeah, well, I mean, the First Amendment right to freedom of the press, it shouldn't be infringed. And so I thought that I would be able to come with my press credentials. I'm here with, we've got 25,000 people just, watching. They want to know that she's okay. They want to hear directly from her. And so I thought I would be able to come and, be able to exercise my rights as an American without being thwarted or, turned away.
Currently, unless there's approval, the only people who can do in-person visits, and even those are scheduled, they're not pop-in, are family members or legal counselor.
Okay, so family members do have access because the person on the intercom told me that there is no visits happening
There
whatsoever.
are, it takes a lot to schedule it,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
we just started in-person contact visits with family.
Was that because you guys had canceled them for COVID and now it's just
Yeah,
coming back?
You know how
It's
everything
crazy.
shut
Yeah,
down
I know.
for COVID. So it's wonderful
been-
to see we have that again.
900 days in a prison cell and solitary for COVID.
Well, and seeing people's faces light up again
Yeah.
now that we've got some of that is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah, it's amazing. They
So
need that.
if she's got some family, I'm hoping they can come see her.
Okay. What's the credentials for that? Immediate nuclear, or is it cousins, uncles?
Those-
that I'm not 100% certain.
Yeah,
I think
and
it's immediate.
those still need to be set up. It's
Okay.
not like they
Yep.
can do pop-in.
And you
Okay.
should be able to do that via that main number I gave you.
Okay.
For now, the quick way is get it through Video Visit on the tablet. You
Yeah.
can go to Larimer County's website, or you can
Yeah.
go straight to ViaPath.
Yeah, she's trying to
Getting
do one right now, but apparently the video's doesn't work during the dinner service hours. So at 6:15, it turns back on. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think
You know
about 6:15 till about 8:30 p.m.
Okay.
is a good window you can get a hold of her.
Okay.
And she should be out during some portion of that time.
Okay.
Pending complications.
Yeah.
During normal out time. If there's an
Okay.
emergency, we got to lock the building down.
Okay.
Might cause an issue, but you should be good to go with that either tonight or hopefully in the morning if for some reason you can't
Okay.
connect with her.
So the process for approval do you guys have any information on that as far as for the media?
Yeah, does somebody else have a phone that can access our website? Because the
Sure.
website lays it right out. And
Okay.
Corporal Connor
Sure.
Thank
show you the exact
Do you
steps
mind if
on
I
how to
help
do
you on your phone?
Nope.
You can just Google search Larimer County Jail visitation if you'd like.
So with the media visit, we are allowed to bring in cameras and stuff of that nature.
those. I don't even have a clue.
So
Okay.
Like
Is it
that
going to
right
be in
here.
a room, or is it going to be
This
through the
tape
glass?
is getting out.
No idea.
Okay.
And
Again,
here
that's
you
that's
can
why we're
create
referring you to
accounts. You don't
people who
have one.
normally
Okay.
work business hours.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the two of you can link up to
Here
schedule
on,
a time.
on nights
And
and
again,
weekends.
pending
Okay.
complications. And
Nobody's going to answer the
If there's
PIO
an
number right
emergency
now.
in the
You
area,
call probably.
It's a
Schedule.
Okay. So we leave a message and then they reach back out to us, no matter what, even if I call
Once you
Monday
get
on
Adam's
that.
contacts.
I don't-
That
Yeah,
number
we
is the
can
public number.
hopefully get you guys
for,
access to it.
press information officer.
Okay.
Now, whether somebody's
Not
going
just for
to
the,
answer
for the whole county, right?
it- right? No,
Okay.
for the sheriff's office.
Okay, for the sheriff's office.
So yeah, that's.
I
the
don't know if
website.
it's going to be
There's-
answered,
there's
but
no way to-
certainly there will be a message system that
Okay.
Just get.
somebody will get back.
No, you can deposit, you can message, you can get facility info.
I think she needs to add you as or is this the
Yeah, I'm a contact.
getting that out?
Yeah, so it's only a
Lisa and here, so I,
And this is the getting out app that you're looking at.
Yeah.
you have to request professional status, make visitor, that's for deposits. But there's no,
Well, you know what? I think they recently did away with the reservations. I think she just initiates it on her.
Yeah,
We
that's
used to
it.
have only reservations and we kind of went away from that because it's easier to connect with people if they just get it running from there.
Yeah, but I've been through all the getting out phases, and I'm trying to make it better, but
Yeah.
it's still annoying.
I'm sorry, it's a headache. You guys are
Yeah.
just trying to.
But as you see for
Yeah.
a secure facility, it has to be arranged to move her out
Yeah.
of a regular housing area, get transport deputies to transport her down
To where? To the,
wherever it would be that if a press
okay.
confirmation was authorized by the
Okay.
sheriff. Again, those are pay grades above me.
Okay. Now the sheriff's office is open right now. If we could go, where is it? Right over here?
It's attached to this building, but the
Okay.
sheriff or the captain aren't going to be in that office
Yeah, I know.
on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There may be a supervisor there that maybe I could schedule it
There's
there or
the
something.
front.
there's a supervisor on the street. The
Yeah.
front office isn't open.
It's
Okay.
business hours Monday through Friday, and literally You can hop on the sidewalk, and it's the exact opposite side of the building. There's a public entrance up there, that's
Okay.
of double doors,
Okay.
and we usually have 2 deputies sitting at the front desk that can
Thank you.
hopefully connect you
During business hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Just really want to see her. You know, she's been struggling a lot. She's 70 years old, Gold Star mother. I mean, lost her Navy SEAL son. You know, she's an American hero, and she deserves all the love and support she can get. You
And I'm
know?
sure she appreciates you guys
Yeah.
supporting her
Yeah. Yeah.
as she's going through a lot of difficult.
Yeah. The golden age of America is here. We need to get all the political prisoners out. You know, she's too precious.
But just to understand, we're not treating you different than if a CNN helicopter landed right in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Is
God
that there-
forbid.
there are procedures that got to be.
Yeah,
followed,
I
okay?
understand,
And most
yeah, I
of
mean-
them relate directly to the security.
Yeah, there's
and
no
safety of
way
this,
here
Yeah.
to
getting
schedule
to
anything.
to a place and those
This is, and
arrangements.
I've gone through this. It's like
Yeah, I think the scheduling may be a bygone thing.
Yeah.
Um,
I do too.
I can also touch base with her.
Have you guys ever seen a media interview interact
yeah,
here?
I mean that may be a good idea. I mean,
I know sometimes
Like,
During press conference.
Yeah, like a press. Like,
Yeah, we have
Three
press
years, so-
conference.
Yeah.
no, like somebody coming in to meet,
Definitely.
give an interview to one of the inmates. No? Okay.
Sure, I can
Uh,
touch base with her. on-
Corporal Connor, have you ever seen a media interview for somebody who's an inmate in here? Like, is it through the glass or is it a sit down room
A
that we?
media interview?
Yeah.
I've personally never seen it
Okay.
unless they did it over a video visit and I've just
Okay.
not happened to see it.
Okay, yeah, because I'm just wondering what level of equipment we could come in a phone, or could we bring a camera and
I'm
lights,
sure
camera action? I mean, you
If
know,
any of that gets approved,
Yeah.
you can negotiate those things.
Okay.
Whenever that may or may not get approved,
Yeah.
what that needs to look like. Tell them what your needs are, and then we'll tell you what we.
so the contact visit for families not through the glass, not through the phone in the glass. You guys, they sit like at a distance.
Yeah,
and
we have a
sit.
special room
Okay.
that we have to search all the people coming in,
Okay,
and of course we have to search her when she leaves. But
Yep.
that's only just
very familiar with
recently
that process.
started. Yeah.
And who's and that contact on there is where?
Yeah, that main number
Yep.
should be there to get information, to get all that stuff.
Okay, so for scheduling family visitation for her, where do we do that? Do we call that same number and ask for the sheriff Bag? What's his name? Bagbaugh?
Badberg.
Badberg.
Captain
Captain
Bad.
Badberg.
Okay, yeah, Captain Badberg.
I mean, if you're needing to speak to him specifically,
Yeah.
sure. But if it's just if she has a family member that wants to come see her,
Yeah.
you should be able to just call that number or show up here at the front desk and
The
say,
top
"Hey,
number, the main number, and then say I'm a family
Can I get
member.
information
Okay.
about how to set this up?
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, that's not something that's going to happen if they just show up.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
things have to be pre-planned.
Pre-approved.
Okay.
There's background checks.
Okay.
If you want to do it.
All right.
All sorts of things.
Well, we appreciate you guys. May God bless America. God bless you
Absolutely.
guys.
Thanks for
Thank you.
stopping by.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
And there's a
Appreciate
card.
you guys.
Just scratched out my former assignment. I'm currently now a lieutenant.
Oh, so you're the lieutenant here.
Yeah.
So you're the supervisor in charge right now.
Yes.
Oh, big shot.
Yep.
God bless you.
I wouldn't say big shot. I have my subject matter expert, Corporal Connor, who most of my career was on the patrol side.
Okay. Thank you guys for protecting our communities here, and please treat Tina with the utmost respect. She's
He's been super
70-year-old
great.
woman, and
So
yeah,
I treat her in kind.
Good.
Appreciate it.
good. Yeah, she spoke with respect for you too. So God bless you guys.
All right.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Did we get you the information that you need at least to?
Yes, well, I'll call. Hopefully, I don't get the bureaucracy run around when I call during business hours. Hopefully,
During
Lieutenant
business hours, you will get.
Badberg will be available, and I won't be like, put on hold for 45 minutes or whatever, but we'll try.
You will get somebody who can help answer your questions.
Thank you guys.
You bet.
God bless.
All right. Take care.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
That was great. So much to unpack from there. First of all, great joke about the CNN helicopter. I was backstage off screen, so you guys didn't get to see me, but I was laughing pretty profusely at that one. And again, first thing I want to do is give a shout out to those guys. They got a tough job, and for them to come out and give Jake and Jared all that information was really kind of them, very professional. So I don't know if I've said any bad things about the Larimer County deputies on here. I don't think I have, but it's possible. I know Tina had her issues with them, but I think that's changed, and those guys are doing a great job. And certainly Corporal Connor and the lieutenant there. Just want to thank those guys for everything that they're doing for her. Again, treating her as an equal, not better, not worse than anybody else, is really all we can ask. So thanks to them for that. And then, of course, thanks to Jake Lang and Jared. Let's talk about Jared first. Behind the scenes guy at Untamed Nation. You don't get to see him on camera very much, but there he was. Also, Tina's surrogate son. He's very close with her. He's the one who's always getting us the messages. So I want to give a special shout out to Jared. He's the one who keeps me informed every time before I come on and do a show. I check in with him. Hey, what's going on? What's the update? What do I need to know? What do I need to talk about? And he's always got it dialed in, always staying informed, always on top of it. So one of the behind the scenes unsung heroes of this show and this network. So big shout out to Jared for that. And of course, Jake Lang, who is another national hero. As you heard him say there, served 4 years in pre-trial detention, I think is what he called it. Never even got to trial, never even got any hearing. I mean, just crazy political prisoner who hung in there, kept people informed from the inside, and now finally out, along with many, many others, but there are still some who are in there on the J6 side, as well as Tina. So thanks to Jake for doing a great job of doing some reporting, getting information out to all of us. I expect we'll be hearing more as they get information when they follow up and call the sheriff's department and talk to the captain and see what's going on. I know that the ABC interview is happening, so by the time this airs, that may even be out. If so, I'm sure Apollo will cut in a nice little graphic and tell you where to find it, or of course, keep an eye on tinapeters.us, as we keep saying, but also on X, on Tina Peters. I think it's at Real Tina Peters on X. And of course, Joe Altman and David Clemens always do a great job of getting information out. So if you're following them on social media, you'll be able to hear any follow-up stuff from there as well. All right, let's take a little commercial break, a little ad break, and then we're going to come back. In fact, let's just do it this way. Right after the ad break, we lead right back into a little clip about Joe. That Tina, I believe it was Tina that had some things to say about Joe and how much she appreciated everything that he's doing for her and everything that he's doing with this network. So let's cut to the ads and the clip about Joe, and then we'll be right back.
Are you looking for monthly income without risks of stocks? Here's something you won't hear on CNBC. There's a unique way to collect royalties directly from America's most productive oil fields. No exploring, no drilling, no operating headaches. You simply collect checks month after month. The best part? You can get started with just $25 through any brokerage account. The Oxford Club Chief Income Strategist, Mark Lichtenfeld, breaks down what he believes is the #1 oil royalty plan for 2025. Visit oilboom2025.com now to learn more. That's oilboom2025.com. Stop buying oil stocks and start collecting oil royalty checks instead.
Hi, I'm Joe, Supreme Leader of DCF Guns. What is DCF Guns, you ask? We're the best damn gun store and range in the universe. Do we have guns? We have all the guns. We got small guns. We got big guns. We even have beastly guns. We offer all types of training, and we have 5 ranges across our 3 locations. I'm a good shot. And of course, we have all types of ammo. We even have flamethrowers. Woo! We offer incredible membership opportunities, and members save even more on guns, ammo, and accessories. Military, both active and retired, and first responders get up to 40% off memberships. Come join the DCF family today, where we keep the range hot and the deals hotter. It's hot.
In every thread, in every stitch, Honorbound USA weaves the fabric of the American spirit. It's not just apparel, it's a testament to God, family, and country. At Honorbound USA, we're a family of patriots who put our faith, family, and America first. When you visit our website, you'll find a line of products that embody our commitment to pray, stand, speak, and act. As the official site for the Untamed podcast, all of our products proclaim speaking the truth with courage. We also have the powerful documentary from Professor David Clements, Let My People Go. Identify yourself as one of the few who are willing to stand for what they believe in. Join the Honor-Bound USA family today. Wear it as a badge of honor, commitment to the values that shape us, and a pledge to the bright future we will build together. Because when you're honor-bound, you're not just wearing a brand, you're embodying a lifestyle.
How are you?
Another day in paradise, Joe. That's what I tell them when they ask me in here.
You're like, Joe, don't ask me that question.
I'm going to tell you really how it is. Actually, I looked out when I was getting ready to call back, and I looked out to make sure they weren't raiding my room, because they do that. They've done it a couple times at 9:30 at night, right before they turn off the lights at 10, and they take off the mattress cover, which is tight. It's hard to get on. It's a big, kind of an awkward thing to get on. And they'll do it like at 9:30 at night and rummage through all your stuff.
And they don't put it back the way that they found it ever. No, of course. No, that's a legal rule though. They're supposed to, but they leave it upside down. I once had a magnetic mirror that I had like eye level to me, and they were literally throwing my stuff right, and the mirror ended up on the ceiling, because it's metal walls. So they literally were like taking my stuff and like an ape, throwing it everywhere. I'm like, how did my mirror get on the ceiling? I was like, oh, I know how, because they're just like throwing things in there.
Yeah.
Well.
So I told them on the way out last night, because I've gotten a better attitude, because I think things have changed now that the DOJ is involved. Because I noticed they don't pick on me as much. Go figure. But I said, hey, I've got an idea, because I'm always thinking of ways to. My Navy SEAL son said in his SEAL Team 6 work that I fix things. 3 words when it said describe your bomb. And so I said, I've got an idea. I said, why don't you let us take our mattress cover off first, and then you can search everything, and then you can put it back on. They just laughed, like.
So funny. So funny.
The joy of the Lord.
Because there's a lot of unsung heroes in this fight. And I don't think I've ever said this to Joe publicly, and I'll probably start crying when I say this, but Joe has stood by me. He's been a fighter when everybody else said, be quiet, don't say anything out loud, for fear. And I said, I don't operate in fear. But Joe has stood up, and he's taken the bullets, he's taken the arrows, he's defended me, and he's also kept my job open, which I'm very grateful for, because Jake, your life still goes on. Your bills still come in. Your house payment still has to be made. Your electric bills and all the other stuff still has to go on.
Thank you, Joe.
And Joe,
Come on, Joe.
You have stayed by me and helped me with that, and kept my job for me, and your support. And I'm very grateful. Very grateful.
Oh.
He is his brother's keeper. He's a good man.
Come on, Joe. Come on.
Another great message there that we got to hear from Tina directly. I didn't even know that we were going to get to see her on screen there. So that's pretty cool. Again, thanks to Jake Lang and the others on that podcast. And of course, thanks to Joe. It's nice to see her be able to say that to him publicly again, like just the fact that she can get her voice and her message out there is so amazing, and really grateful to be a part of this, and that Joe and the team here at Untamed have allowed me to sit in and guest host from time to time. It feels like a really special thing to be a part of, so I'm honored for that. And of course, you hear from Tina about how she's trying to reform the system from within, and she's really something else. Really something else. Giving suggestions about how to change things in there. I don't think most of us would do that. Most of us would probably keep our mouths shut and try and do our time and get the heck out of there as quickly as possible. But not Tina. She's a fighter. She's a fixer, and she's in there, trying to make things as good as possible for her and everybody else. So, again, just feels like really amazing to be a part of this. And so let's talk a little bit about some breaking news that came up this week, came up yesterday, the big overnight truth that set the interwebs ablaze, the AutoPen gate, or I don't know what they're calling it. Trump's been talking about AutoPen for days, but late Sunday night, he issued a truth that I think Apollo can throw up on the screen here. And basically, well, why don't I read it? And then he can throw it up while I'm reading it. But it says the pardons that Sleepy Joe Biden gave to the Unselect Committee of Political Thugs and many others are hereby declared void, vacant, and of no further force or effect because of the fact that they were done by AutoPen. In other words, Joe Biden did not sign them, but more importantly, he did not know anything about them. The necessary pardoning documents were not explained to or approved by Biden. He knew nothing about them, and the people that did may have committed a crime. Therefore, those on the Unselect Committee who destroyed and deleted all evidence obtained during their 2-year witch hunt of me and many other innocent people should fully understand that they are subject to investigation at the highest level. The fact is, they were probably responsible for the documents that were signed on their behalf without the knowledge or consent of the worst president in the history of our country, crooked Joe Biden. Now, obviously, that doesn't apply directly to Tina's situation. But as you heard her say on that video, things have gotten better now that the DOJ is involved. They're treating her a little bit better. They understand who she is and what's going on there. So it does tie, I believe, tangentially in that Trump is out here now exposing that everything that Biden ever did is fraudulent. Many of us have said the whole time that he was never the real president. Many of us have even said, who was that guy pretending to be president? Because it certainly doesn't look like the original Joe Biden if you patch all the photos together. Again, I'm not going to get into tinfoil hat stuff and conspiracy theories like that. But I think that we can all agree that Joe Biden was not the one running the country during that 4-year period of 2021 until early 2025, just a couple months ago. So who was running the country? Are we going to find out? I don't know. But what is happening is that there's an exposure of all of this stuff because it all stems, right, from what Tina exposed. It all stems from the fraudulent election where they installed this actor, this fake president who acted like the president, who was installed, who was selected, not elected, because we know that the fraud in the 2020 election was rampant and everywhere in every state and every county. And again, Joe Altman and David Clements and Tina and many, many, many others have been working for years to expose this. Christina Bobb wrote a great book about it. But that's not where the fraud ends, right? The fraud ends with the fake president being in there who wasn't duly elected, who's writing executive orders and signing executive orders and signing official documents and signing pardons with an AutoPen, which is not legitimate in any way. It's not lawful. It's not legal. It's not any of those things. So what are we going to find out that was done during that 4-year period that was also unlawful and not legitimate? And again, that ties to Jake Lang and all the J6ers who really went to peacefully protest that the election was not legitimate, and to Tina, who's now incarcerated because she became a whistleblower and she exposed the lies in Colorado and the corruption in Colorado. And for that, she's been persecuted by the system for which she once worked, because they didn't like it when someone like Tina exposes their crimes. So all of this does tie together, and that's why I'm bringing it up. And again, it's a very exciting time to hear things like this. Wow, Trump's really going to go after him. This is what we've been waiting for, but we're not seeing it yet, right? Like, we're not seeing people hauled off to jail yet. I do believe that we're going to see that. I do believe that Jenna Griswold is going to be one of those people, and deservedly so. She deserves to be hauled off to jail. She broke the law on several occasions in 2020, and then again in 22, and again in 24, right? So Jenna Griswold belongs in jail, and Tina does not. So as the real criminals start to get hauled off to jail, the ones who are wrongfully imprisoned, like Tina and any of the leftover J6ers that are still in prison, should be removed from jail and from prison. So it's an exciting time. There's a lot happening, but again, we're still not seeing it yet. So what I'll remind everybody is patience and faith is what's going to get us through this. And the big reminder there is that this is not Trump's war. This is not even we the people's war. I've said it every time I've covered the show. I'll probably say it every time I cover this show. This is God's war. God will decide when enough is enough. And we can continue to keep praying and pleading to God on behalf of Tina and all the others that are being wrongfully persecuted and imprisoned, that he would have mercy on them and get them out of there already, and that he would start to show accountability for the real criminals, so we can start to see them hauled off and put in jail and put on trial and justice be served. And we're getting so close, guys, that we've got to just hang in there. And to you, Tina, of course, you know more than anybody, and you've got to hang in there more than anybody, because you're in the middle of it. For us, this is really stressful and uncomfortable, but it's nothing compared to what you're going through, Tina. And so that's why we're here to support you, to continue to be your voice. Although, again, I'll say you're doing a great job of getting your voice out there, certainly more than most would be able to. So this auto pen thing is big. It really is. This could be the tipping point that really starts to change things, and we really start to get to the accountability phase. And all of those, Kinzinger was on X, you know, but he wasn't crying this time. We'll give him credit for that, but he does look hungover. I don't think he's very happy, and I don't think Schiff is sleeping well, or Liz Cheney, or any of the other unselect committee, as President Trump calls them. A lot of criminals out there squirming around. Mark Elias, you know, and this is being done in a very specific way. So again, it's painfully slow. Again, it's painfully slow for us who are out here and free. Imagine how painfully slow it is for Tina and the others who are not. So just remember that as we have tough days and tough weeks ahead of us, before justice is fully served for Tina and fully served for the criminals who actually deserve to be in jail and in prison. Remember Tina, and remember those who are really in the middle of it and really in the weeds of this war for God and fighting on behalf of him. That's what keeps me going. That's what gives me strength, is whenever I'm having a bad day, I remember Tina. Whenever I'm having a bad day, I remember a good friend of mine that I have who's been in the shadows of working in this war for 16, 17 years now. And if I'm getting frustrated and if I'm getting tired, imagine how those people are feeling. And that's what keeps me going. One of the things that keeps me going, but above all, as I said earlier, the thing that keeps me going and should keep all of you going above all else is your faith in God, that God will end this when it's time. And we're getting so much closer. You can start to see the bigger and bigger wins start to happen. And hopefully that continues to crescendo into a point where Tina gets out and a lot of other criminals go in, and then we can start to maybe exhale a little bit and feel a little bit better about things. All right, we've got one more video for you today, and then I'll do a little bit more rambling on, not much, maybe actually just the prayer, and then come back and wrap up the show, and we'll get on out of here. So let's cue up. This is a video from Karen Kennedy on X, who I understand is going to be on Joe Oltman's show this week on Wednesday. Don't quote me on that, but look into it. That's what I was told behind the scenes. So I hope I've got that right. I hope she does get on Joe's show and speak a little bit more, because she put out a great video on X about Tina. So let's hear that now.
Why is Tina Peters in prison? Why is Tina Peters in prison? The state of Colorado is giving rights that American citizens do not have to illegal aliens. I just posted a video about illegals can now come here. You don't have to have any restrictions on the time you live in Colorado. You can show up here on Tuesday, and the same day you can have a driver's license. No ID card, no social security card, no number, no birth certificate, no nothing. American citizens do not have that luxury. So I ask you again, why is Tina Peters in prison for exposing the biggest lie, like Jenna Griswold, the Secretary of State, claims? The big lie. What are you talking about? Colorado has the gold standard. Yeah, for criminals. Of course. Up is down, down is right, left is right, up is ass. Whatever. Why is Tina Peters sitting in prison at 69 years old? She has no one. Her son is gone. They took her husband away from her. He was in a nursing home. They turned him against her before he no longer had his faculties. So she has a few close friends. You know who you are, and thank you. Who are helping to make sure that the poor woman doesn't lose her house and everything else. But see, that's how the evil communists do you. They want to make sure you have nothing left and that you have nothing to fight them with. This woman did her job as the Mesa County clerk. I wish we had another numerous amount of people who were brave like her, who were in that position, who exposed what has been happening in these voting systems and how these loser-ass politicians who do absolutely nothing for their constituents except keep them poor and under duress keep getting elected over and over and over again. It literally makes no sense. It defies all logic. Why is Tina Peters in prison? In October, the news broke that the BIOS passwords, 600 of them, by the way, were sitting wide open on the internet for 4 months. Ironically enough, while they were dragging, they meaning Jenna Griswold, Secretary of State, the leftist, crank-far leftist groups, the prosecutors, the state AG, Phil Weiser, while they were dragging her through the mud, literally the passwords on the Secretary of State's website were open that whole damn time. It was discovered in October. The Libertarian Party of Colorado brought a lawsuit against Jenna Griswold. And guess what? The crank-far leftist retarded judge let her get away with it. Didn't find anything wrong. And of course, Jenna investigated herself. And guess what? Dadgummit, she didn't find that she did anything wrong. Because that's how that works. Why is Tina Peters sitting in prison? Never so much as had a parking ticket. Paid her taxes, probably overpaid. While you let illegal aliens run the streets of Colorado, take over entire apartment complexes in Aurora and Denver, let them get away with torturing, kidnapping, murdering, raping, and y'all keep it under the rug. You don't report it. You want to talk about the police statistics? Oh, crime is down. No, y'all just don't report the shit. So we don't know it happened. But see, locally, we know it happened because people who, are paying attention post it on X, for instance. Why is Tina Peters sitting in prison when the real criminals continue to walk the streets? They just let an illegal alien out recently who had tortured and kidnapped somebody. A couple kept him locked up, tortured him, kidnapped him, cut the dude's damn fingers off his hands. They were like, oh, go be with God. Bye-bye. Can I offer you some wine on the way out? They caught him on a minor charge in a different state. And now he has an ICE detainer on him, and they ain't letting him out. They're going to let ICE come pick him up. But see, Colorado let him go. Oh! Illegal foreign nationals who are criminal aliens who do anything and everything they want in the state of Colorado run wild and run free and terrorize people in this state. But the woman who exposed the egregious, ugly, evil system of election, I don't even know what to call it. There's so many negatives. She is sitting in prison. It can't stay like this. Thank you, Kash Patel, for announcing that on X yesterday, that now you're looking into Tina Peters' case specifically. I, as a Gold Star military widow, I appreciate you doing that. I am grateful for you, and I am grateful for those who are helping Tina right now. For those who are pretending they're helping, but they're really not, piss on you. And thank you, DC Drano, for bringing this to remembrance and to national attention. This injustice cannot stand. This injustice cannot stand. Please pray for Tina Peters. Remember her in your prayers today.
All right. Apologies for some of the language in that video. I promised I would never swear on Tina's show, but I didn't promise that I wouldn't ask Apollo to play a video that reflects the feelings that we all have about this situation. I think we're all beyond frustrated, and great job by that woman expressing it, even though she used language that may be a little much for some of you out there. I think we can all relate to the passion with which she spoke and why she's still in jail, right? So there's, again, we're so close, but we're not there yet. So we need to continue to be patient. We need to continue to have faith in God above all else. We know that Tina's doing that. It was great to hear from her directly today and hear from her that she is doing better and she is being treated better. This is great, but we're not there yet. We're not done yet. So let's keep going. Let's keep getting the information out there. Go to tinapeters.us, go to Untamed Nation and buy a free Tina Peters t-shirt and wear that all over the place. I hope to have mine by the next time I guest host next week. So with that, let's say a quick prayer and then we'll let you all get on with the rest of your day. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this group that came together today to continue to speak about Tina's story and continue to do all we can to try and get her out of jail while others belong where she currently is. We ask that you give us all strength and that you strengthen our faith in you during these difficult times, so that we know that no matter how it looks, you are always indeed with us and fighting for us and teaching us difficult lessons before you bring ultimate justice and end this war, this information war, once and for all. We ask that you continue to watch over Tina and all of those who are wrongfully imprisoned, and that you continue to speak to them directly so that they may know what you ask of them and why you ask it of them and why you've chosen them for such a difficult path and difficult role in this war. We ask that you protect all children out there, and that you love each and every one of them and take care of them. Again, this is why most of us got into this fight, and what woke most of us up was the horrible things being done to your littlest ones. It's why we fight for Tina. It's why we fight for freedom. It's why we fight for justice. We ask all these things in your son, Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Just one quick note. I think earlier when I was talking about Tina, I may have said Jenna Ellis, who's another Jenna, who's a piece of crap and probably belongs in jail. But of course, I was speaking about Jenna Griswold, who clearly has been breaking the law and clearly belongs in prison for a very, very long time. So we look forward to seeing that. And we look forward to seeing Tina get out. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Again, I'm Dr. Z. You can find me on Rumble at Zilosophy for All, and on X at Zilosophy_for_all. It's always an honor and a pleasure to be here on behalf of Tina with all of you. Thanks for watching. God bless each and every one of you. And we'll see you next time that I'm blessed enough to get to guest host, probably next week. Take care, guys. Have a great week.
Hi, Tina Peters here.
See, today they go after you if you're investigating, that sort of thing.